In a quiet village nestled by a shimmering river, lived a fisherman named Taye. Every morning, as the sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, Taye would cast his net, his heart heavy with a desire for more. While his neighbors were content with a modest catch, enough to feed their families and trade for necessities, Taye dreamed of a boat piled high with silver fish, enough to make him the wealthiest man in the village. He saw the river not as a source of life, but as a treasure chest he was determined to empty. One misty morning, as Taye grumbled about his meager haul, he noticed something unusual tangled in his net. It wasn't a fish, nor was it driftwood. It was a small, intricately carved wooden fish, its scales shimmering with a faint, otherworldly light. As he held it, a voice, soft as the rustling reeds, echoed in his mind. "I am the spirit of this river. I see the greed in your heart, but I will offer you a chance. Each day you may ask for one wish and I shall grant it. But be warned, Taye, for a greedy heart can be a dangerous vessel." Taye's eyes widened, not with fear, but with exhilaration. A river spirit. His chance had finally come. That day, he wished for his net to be filled to bursting with the river's finest fish. In an instant, his net grew so heavy he could barely pull it ashore. It was a mountain of glistening fish, more than he had ever caught in a month. He sold them all at the market, the clinking of coins a sweet melody to his ears. The next day, he returned to the riverbank, the wooden fish clutched tightly in his hand. "River spirit," he called out, his voice bold and demanding, "I wish for a boat so grand it will dwarf all others, with sails of the finest silk." No sooner had the words left his lips than a magnificent boat appeared, moored by the shore, its polished wood gleaming in the sunlight. Taye laughed, a triumphant sound that echoed across the water. His wishes grew more extravagant with each passing day. He wished for a grand house on the hill, the chests filled with gold, the servants to attend to his every whim. The villagers watched with a mixture of awe and unease as Taye's wealth grew. He became arrogant, scorning the simple fishermen he once called his friends. His heart, once just heavy with desire, was now cold and hard like the gold he hoarded. He forgot the river spirit's warning, blinded by his own insatiable greed. Meanwhile, in the same village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was an orphan, with little to his name, but a kind heart and a deep respect for the river. He didn't have a fancy net or a grand boat. He would sit by the water's edge with a simple line and hook, catching just enough for his supper. He often shared his catch with elderly villagers or hungry animals. He would thank the river for its gifts, his voice a gentle whisper carried on the breeze. Finn saw the river as a friend, a giver of life that deserved care and gratitude. One day, Taye, now the richest man for miles around, stood on the balcony of his mansion, overlooking the river. He had everything he had ever dreamed of, yet an empty feeling gnawed at him. More. He needed more. He stormed down to the river, the wooden fish in his hand. "Spirit," he bellowed, his voice filled with impatience. "I am tired of these petty wishes. I wish to become the master of the river itself. I want to command the waters and all the creatures within it." A sudden, chilling silence fell upon the river. The gentle lapping of the waves ceased. The sky, once a brilliant blue, turned a stormy, menacing grey. The wooden fish in Taye's hand crumbled into dust. The river spirit's voice returned, no longer a soft whisper, but a thundering roar that shook the very ground. "You were warned, Taye. Your greed knows no bounds. You have taken and taken, giving nothing but scorn in return. You wish to be master of the river, then you shall be bound to it." The river began to churn violently. The water rose, swirling around Taye's ankles, then his knees, then his waist. It was as if invisible chains were pulling him down. He struggled, but the current was too strong. His grand boat was smashed against the rocks. his chests of gold sinking into the murky depths. His fine clothes turned to rags, and his body grew cold and stiff. The water formed a watery prism around him, holding him captive in the middle of the raging river, unable to move, forced to watch as everything he had gained was washed away. From the riverbank, the villagers watched in terror. They saw Kale's plight but were too afraid to help, fearing the river spirit's wrath. All except one. Finn, seeing the fisherman's desperate struggle, felt a pang of compassion. He knew of Kale's greed, but he also saw a man in pain. Without a second thought, he pushed his small, humble coracle into the churning water and began paddling furiously toward the trapped fisherman. The waves crashed against his tiny boat, threatening to capsize it at any moment. "Go back, boy," Kale croaked, his voice hoarse. "You'll be drowned." But Finn didn't listen. He paddled with all his might, his small arms aching, his face set with determination. Finally, he reached Kale's side. "I can't leave you," Finn said simply. He had no grand plan, no magic to offer. He just stayed there, a small, steady presence in the heart of the storm. He began to speak to the river, not with demands, but with respect. "Great river spirit," he said, his voice clear and true despite the roaring gale. "This man has been foolish, but please, show him mercy. He has learned his lesson. The river has given us so much, and we should be grateful for its gifts, not seek to control it." He then turned to Kale. "You must ask for forgiveness," he urged. "Show the spirit that your heart has changed." Tears streamed down Kale's face, mixing with the river's spray. For the first time, he felt not greed, but profound regret. He saw the kindness in the young boy's eyes, a kindness he himself had long forgotten. His arrogance washed away, replaced by a wave of humility. "I am sorry," he whispered, his voice cracking. "I was a fool. I took your gifts for granted, and my heart was filled with darkness. Please, forgive my greed." As soon as the words of genuine remorse were spoken, the storm began to subside. The churning waters grew calm, and the dark clouds parted, allowing a single ray of sunlight to break through, illuminating the two figures in the middle of the river. The invisible chains holding Kale dissolved, and he slumped forward, exhausted, into Finn's small boat. The river spirit's voice came one last time, gentle once more. "Humility and gratitude are the greatest treasures, Kale. Remember the lesson you have learned today. And you, Finn, your kindness has saved more than one life." Finn paddled the weakened Kale back to shore. Kale had lost all his wealth, his grand house, his gold, and his boat. But as he stepped onto the land, he felt lighter than he had in years. He had lost everything, but he had regained his humanity. From that day on, Kale became a changed man. He fished with a simple net, taking only what he needed, always thanking the river for its bounty. He shared what he had with his neighbors and taught the village children about the importance of respecting nature. And he never forgot the humble boy who, with nothing but a kind heart and a small boat, showed him the true meaning of wealth. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that touch the heart. See you in the next video.